morning, good evening, and good night, guys, wherever you are. This is Marco, mpmode.com, sending my blessings to all of you. So, topic of today, how to change your beliefs. So, if you haven't watched my previous videos yet, I suggest you to do so. And the title of those videos and those posts are The Mind and the Matrix Part 1 and 2 and Becoming Aware of Your Subconscious Beliefs. Watch them because I explain in details how your mind works and how you can become aware of your subconscious beliefs and why those beliefs ultimately determine your reality. So how to change your beliefs and how to actually change your reality. You have to understand that a change of belief is something that happens during your lifetime. Okay? For example, when you have an emotional breakdown or when you experience a state of bliss, like when you're really happy about something because you achieved something, when one of those two things happen, more than likely one of your beliefs usually changes. This is the case when, for example, people hit that rock bottom, so to speak. This is the bad case, okay? You're feeling intense negative emotions, and what was acceptable up until that point is not acceptable anymore, because either you have to change something in yourself or you realize that you deserve much better. For example, okay, you are at work and you have been feeling, let's say, not happy, not fulfilled for the last couple of years, and one day something happens, and it's not much of a deal, but that thing is a spark that triggers the change of one of your beliefs, right? And when that happens, you decide all of a sudden that you want to change your job and pursue something else. The same is true for relationships, of course, and maybe for your health. Let's say that you don't take care of yourself, you have some problem, you see the doctor. Doctor tells you that if you keep doing what you've been doing so far, you are more likely to have big problems or even worse, die. So when that happens, that's a shock, right? And usually people change their habit because they are afraid to die, right? What's important is that those ways are not something that you can control. What I'm going to share with you today is 3 ways in which you can consciously and intentionally change your beliefs. Because if you have watched my previous video, Becoming Aware of Your Subconscious Beliefs, and if you have practiced and tested your beliefs by reading the list that I provided, you already know you know which negative belief you're holding. You know where to work on. And today I'm going to share with you 3 ways in which you can change finally those limiting negative beliefs. Let's get started. So what is the first way to consciously change a belief? Repetition. So usually limiting beliefs are there to prevent you from achieving something because that something is perceived to be detrimental by your programming. Okay? How many times did you fail in your life? I failed several times. Okay? But I'm sure that in your life there was a moment in which something that you thought was impossible became possible. At least once. Okay? And when that happens, you have a so-called breakthrough. How to have a breakthrough? My favorite coach and speaker, Tony Robbins, says that in order to have a breakthrough, you need the 3 S. And the first one is the strategy. Okay? So, if you've been trying to lose weight, lose fat and build muscle for several years and you never seem to make it, right? More than likely you were using the wrong strategy. But in that moment you thought that that particular strategy was the good one. You keep using the wrong strategy, you keep making the efforts, on and on, you don't see any result. And since you don't see result, what you're doing is you're just reinforcing, once again, that limiting belief, because you think, oh, shit, I tried everything, this shit doesn't work for me, I have big bones, I have a slow metabolism, so I cannot lose fat, I cannot build muscle. What happens when you change to the right strategy? And for those of you who want to lose fat and build muscle and they think they can't because they don't have enough space, time or money, click on the products tab on my website, get the copy of my book, read it, and you will see that I'm presenting you a good strategy. Because the point is that even myself, I tried for several years to lose fat and build muscle, but I never made it. Until at some point I had a breakthrough. And I applied the principle and I had great results. Tremendous results. And since it worked for me, okay, there is no reason why it should not work for you as well. What happens when you switch to the right strategy? You start seeing results. In the case of shape and health, results are not immediate, okay, especially depending on your condition. But usually you can start to see something in 2 to 3 weeks. And when you see something, when you see that you're really changing something, that shit is working, okay, something interesting usually happens. You start thinking, wait a minute, this shit actually works. This is why in my book I recommend you guys to take a picture of yourself every week and then confront them, compare them as time goes by. It really helped me. Okay? So when that happens, you switch from I can't make it to I can make it to I made it. Okay? And this strategy is where you have to start. And of course this is true for health and wellness, but can be applied to many other aspects of your life. For example, money. Which strategy are you using to make money? And why you're not making money, if that is the case for you? Change the strategy. learn new strategy from people who are making money. Read books, right? Relationships, okay? For example, you need to learn how to behave in different phases of a relationship, and you need to learn how attraction works. Health, for example, by understanding that your body has to be considered as a whole and not just as a group of different parts working together. So when you change the strategy, when you apply the right strategy to the T and you see a result, you change the second S, which is the story. Okay? You realize that all the things that you've been telling yourself so far, like I cannot lose weight, I cannot build muscle, I cannot make money, were all just the stories that you were telling yourself. And you see that those stories are not serving you anymore, and you drop them. You have changed the bullshit that you've been telling yourself. And when you do that, you change the third S, which is the state. You switch from I can't to maybe I can to I can to finally I will. What happens is that the program that you've been trying to install for several years has finally gotten through and now has gained full access to all the resources of the system. And if you want to understand this concept, I send you to my video, The Mind and the Matrix Part 1 and 2. And when you change the state, right, what happens? You become unstoppable. And this is just the result of changing one particular belief that you had that was limiting you. So what is the second way to change one belief? Hypnosis. But before we talk about hypnosis, I want to spend a few words and tell you how your brain, your physical brain, actually works. Because remember that the brain is the physical matter through which your mind operates. I want you to think of the brain as something that vibrates with different frequencies according to what it has to do in one particular moment. These frequencies are called brain waves. And there are mainly 4 brain waves. And the first one is beta, which is around 20 Hertz. And when you are in beta, you are highly awake. For example, when you're doing some complicated task at work, or when you are under stress, okay? Your brain is in beta. The second one is alpha, which is around 10 Hertz. In this state, you are awake, but you're also relaxed. Okay? For example, when you are at home at night, watching TV or reading a book, you are alert, but you're relaxed. In this state, you have access to your subconscious mind, and this is the state in which usually you have some intuition. Okay? Good. The third state is the theta state, which is around 4 Hertz. And in this state, you have full access to your subconscious mind, and this is also the state of the REM phase, which is when you dream, if you dream during your sleep. And your brain goes in this state at least twice a day, which is right before falling asleep and right after waking up. And also if you dream. Okay? The fourth brain wave, the fourth state is the delta state, which is around 2 Hertz. Okay? In this state, you are deep sleeping. This is the phase of deep sleep, and this is the state in which your brain, your body releases growth hormone, and where your body heals itself. Okay? So beta, alpha, theta, delta. Good. So when you are a kid, when you're a toddler, and when you're awake, your brain is mainly in the theta state. Alpha and beta are something that your brain learns to do after 6 years of age, little by little. When you are in the theta state, your mind is open to being programmed. And if you have watched The Mind and the Matrix Part 1, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So hypnosis is the practice that helps you reach the theta state first, and then install new information once the mind is open to being programmed. The good news is that you don't need to hire an hypnotherapist to do hypnosis. So now, before we go forward, a little disclaimer, okay? If you are not sure about this practice, if you have any doubt, always talk to your doctor, okay? Don't take my advice for granted, okay? Good. Now that the disclaimer is done, I want to remind you that your brain goes in the theta state at least twice per day, naturally, when you fall asleep and when you wake up. And the point is that not only you can reach the theta state twice per day, but if you practice deep meditation, okay, you can learn to reach the theta state during the day whenever you want. So when your brain is in the theta state, you have sort of a window which you can use to reprogram your subconscious mind the way you want. So how to use this window effectively? The practice that I suggest is listen to subliminals or positive affirmations. I know what you're thinking, okay? This may sound like a weird or crazy practice, but I'm telling you that it's not. Whatever works, right? I've been doing this practice for a couple of months, maybe 3, and I'm telling you that it really works, okay? What happens is this. You're listening to subliminals every day, constantly, and maybe you're working on some particular negative or limiting belief that you have. Usually, for some changes to take place, it takes 1 to 2 weeks. And for the change to be more permanent, it takes about a month. Okay? So in the beginning, since you know that 95% of your actions are determined by your subconscious mind, right? In the beginning, you start see yourself doing some actions in a different way. And you'll be sort of astonished because what the hell am I doing? But then you will realize that this change is just the result of you reprogramming yourself through the subliminals or the positive affirmations. It really works, guys. Try it. So before you try it, few recommendations. Okay? If you suffer from epilepsy, don't do it. It may be dangerous. Okay? Be always constant. Do it on a daily basis. Never mix different subliminals. Stick to one track for at least a month. always use earplugs, because subliminals usually are encoded with binaural beats. And binaural beats are nothing but frequencies that help your brain reach the theta state. And they have different frequencies between the different channels, left and right. That's why you need to use earplugs. Use a low volume, because you're listening to subliminals at night, so you need to use a low volume, which allows you to sleep. Okay? So don't put the volume too high. And you don't need to focus on the statements, because just your conscious mind doesn't have to do anything, because the information gets through to your subconscious mind, which is always awake. So just listen to them and think about something else maybe. And finally, don't worry, you won't get crazy. It really works. Okay? So if you don't know where to find good subliminals, I suggest you a great YouTube channel, which I'm not related to whatsoever. And in this channel you can find a big list of subliminals, which are all free. And you can use them, you can listen to them for free. And I'm gonna post the link of this YouTube channel below this video. Usually they are 30 minutes long, and you can listen to them on a loop at night. Maybe in the first couple of days you'll have some trouble sleeping, but once you get used to it, you will sleep just fine. Try it. So what is the third way to change a subconscious belief? Super learning. The previous ways are basically free. For super learning, you may need to hire a coach or attend one particular seminar. And the practice is called Psyche. I think this is the most effective practice of super learning. Okay? And it's spelled Psych-K. Super learning is especially effective with negative core beliefs, which are usually the result of one trauma you had in your childhood. For example, the belief of being undeserving or unworthy. Okay? What's the difference between Psyche and psychotherapy? With psychotherapy, mainly you want to become aware of that trauma. You want to understand what happened. With Psyche, you are focusing on changing that particular negative or limiting belief, which is the result of that trauma. And the point is that once you change that belief, that trauma has no more power over you. Remember, your past has no effect on your behavior. If your behavior is detrimental to you, the reason you behave this way or that way is because of that limiting or negative belief. So I've already had a couple of Psyche sessions before, and I've been really shocked by the change that I experienced. The change was immediate and permanent after a short period of settlement. Because the point is that once the belief is changed, okay, your programming changes as well at the same time. So in a normal Psyche session, okay, which lasts about 1 hour, the first thing you do is that you want to test your beliefs. This is why it's important to test your beliefs first, and you can do that by watching my previous video, Becoming Aware of Your Subconscious Beliefs. If you are aware of your subconscious beliefs already, you know exactly where you need to work on. So you can save time and of course, money. So when we are with a coach in a session, after you know which beliefs you want to work on, you are going to ask permission to your subconscious mind. And you do so by muscle testing, okay? Your coach will help you to do so. Then, you will do some sort of brain balance technique, which makes the programming more effective. Then, you will finally change your belief in the way that best suits you, okay? Because we are different, okay? And at the end, you will finally celebrate the change. And I guarantee to you that it really works, okay? So, in order to do Psyche, you can choose to either hire a coach or attend one of those seminars they hold all around the world. And I'm probably going to do so because this topic is really interesting to me. Okay? If you want to know more about Psyche, there's a book titled Psyche, the Missing Piece in Your Life, and I'm going to link the link to the book below this video. It's a short read, but it's really interesting. Okay? So there you have it, the 3 ways to change a subconscious belief. Remember that once a belief is changed, okay, that doesn't make you a millionaire if that's what you want. You need to take, obviously, actions. But if being millionaire or billionaire is relevant to you, if your beliefs support you, okay, and if you listen to your intuition, you will be led to take those actions in a normal and natural way which resonates with you. This is how the creation of your reality works in practice. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to tell me what you think by leaving a comment in the section below. Once again, for those of you who want to lose fat and build muscles, and they think they can because they don't have enough time, money, and space, you can click on the Products tab on my website and get a copy of my book. And you can read it and see that it will work for you 100%. If you like my work, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the donate button at the bottom of every page and donate any amount you think it's equal to the information. At the very least, you can share this video with your friends and family which you think may benefit from the information. As always, remember, stay strong, stay smart, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.